I am Paul Klassen, Executive Director of Broken Strength, a ministry that helps the church help their men in particular deal with sexual integrity issues. I'm here with my wife, Becky. Thanks for doing this, honey.
I am honored to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm just going to ask you right off, I would like for you to share, if you would, why is it important, do you think, for women in the church to talk about how pornography has affected their lives?
Well, honestly, it's because I found that going alone is just not effective. Whether women are stuck in a pattern of unwanted sexual behavior or they're feeling betrayed by the porn use of their spouse, it's just hard to go it alone. And people then stay hurt. They stay wounded, they stay addicted. But if women are willing to let someone else in who can relate with them, who can listen to them, who can walk the road with them, that's where healing can begin. And I think it's such an irony that it's kind of like we're living lonely in a crowd. There's so many people silently suffering. And the thing is that the majority of people are affected by pornography. And so here we are amongst a crowd of people who could be helping us out, and we're going it alone.
Yeah.
Why is that? We really don't need to feel alone, but we need to be willing to talk about this common struggle. And I really think that the old way just doesn't work. I know that it can be very difficult to talk about a topic that's so sensitive and so personal. It seems too private. But we cannot treat it the same as it's always been treated, because, frankly, it's not the same as it's always been. Pornography consumption has just exploded. And I think because it's just so available, the money spent on it in the industry to pull us in is crazy. The porn industry it's insidious, it's relentless, it is destructive, and our kids are being pulled in too.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's important that we as women are willing to talk about it. We learned a lot of things from our families of origin. From our moms, maybe we learned how to be a mom, how maybe to do some homemaking things. We learned our values, but most of us did not learn how to battle pornography.
Yeah, and like you said, it's affected almost everybody. I mean, it really has to some degree. So if you would, could you talk about 3 or 4 maybe impacts pornography has had on your life? I mean, you never struggled with it yourself, but certainly your life, our story, your life has been impacted by it. Can you kind of describe a few of those impacts?
Yeah, pornography impacted me in the way I saw myself. A lot of times I felt like I'm obviously not enough. I felt that you were ignoring me, like ignoring my pain, in that these behaviors that I spoke about being so hurtful just were continuing on, and that was really difficult. But I think that I'm actually grateful that we've come through this together.
Me too.
And it's taken me a while to get to that spot. I had to, pornography impacted me in that I had to learn to grieve what I had lost, what we had lost together, and then to go to Jesus. And I found a whole new intimacy with him as I just was able to pour out my heart through that process. And I want to point out that I think that growth is not a given, though, because suffering like this can make a person bitter. It can make a heart hard. But Jesus desires to enter into our suffering. And that's one thing that I learned that was an impact for me. And I'm so grateful because I feel like ours is a story of victory. We have learned forgiveness. We've learned to reject lies and count on the promises of God. And it's really amazing. We're just regular people. And God has used our story, kind of brought beauty from ashes. And we hope to be able to pass that along to other people, continue to pass it along.
Yeah.
So all glory be to God.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, our story certainly does have, every story probably does, but it's ups and downs. You know, one step forward, two steps back, setbacks. Is there key junctures, though, in our marriage, points that you could look at now and say, that was huge, and this is why? Have you been able to identify maybe a couple of those?
Yes, that's such a good question. I think for us, and probably broadly this is true, that individual work is really important.
Yeah.
So,
you doing your work, me doing my work.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And for me, of course, all trust feels like it's lost. But as you were able to put in good structures and like guards on your technology use, being able to seek out accountability, and the things that you were reading and learning, that was something that really built up the trust for me. And so that was huge for us. And I think for me too, I needed to look inside of myself and just the healing that was necessary inside of me. I was able to go to some trusted friends and be able to just have discussions with them, and also find friendship in authors. I love to read.
Yeah.
And I have one book that I really recommend. It's called Reclaim Your Marriage by Jenny Solomon, subtitled Grace for Wives Who Have Been Hurt by Pornography. And I feel like our growth individually was huge for us as far as key junctures. And another thing that I wanted to bring up too is that when you got to the point where you were making promises to me that you had really thought through, and there was some back and forth with that too, as far as promising this and then having to confess. But
A specific promise
right.
that I had made.
Yes. But you came up with a list of promises that you wrote down for me, and then you would just tell me those. And even now, I can ask you whenever, can you give me the promises? And sometimes you'll say, it's been a while since I've given you these promises. Let me say them to you. And they're in your heart and they're in your mind. And I think knowing you and your heart and how far that we have come together brings a lot of joy and just makes me feel loved to hear those promises.
Yeah, thank you for sticking around.
Yeah.
What a joy, and we are blessed.
Yes.
And so, as we've mentioned, Broken Strength really doesn't do a lot with or for women's ministries right now, and there isn't a lot out there. We were just at an event last night, I think I was telling you, and 120 men from this church, and I learned that they're doing a similar event for women today, right now. And I asked how they're, like, is there anybody helping them? Or they're going, no, it's in-house. It's like a Bible study, and we break up into groups, but the topic is sexual purity. Churches want to address this with their women as well. Give us your pitch. As new as this is for us, and we're just starting to do this and learning about it, give us your pitch as to what Broken Strength could bring to the table for a church or their women's ministry.
Yeah, I've heard you so often say that Broken Strength exists to help churches help their men live lives of sexual integrity. But then you've also so often said, this is not a men's only issue. And as I've said, I can speak from the perspective of someone whose spouse has battled pornography, and I love the opportunity to talk with women walking down that road. And so I really would welcome calls or emails from women who would like to talk about this.
Even just through the website.
Through the website, yeah. You can find contact information where we could have those conversations. And I think that's what's important. Churches need women who have listening ears. And because I've walked that path, let's talk. Maybe let's read this book together. Many women also love Jesus and struggle with porn themselves, whether it be online, literature, movies, magazines. And I do think that the church is lagging in their response to this. Of course, there's a lot of fear that's there.
Yeah.
And shame, and therefore isolation. We kind of need to sound the alarm to say that this is not, what we've been doing has not been working.
Yeah.
We need to start to have conversations. So we at Broken Strength are learning from some effective ministries how to address women seeking recovery.
Yeah.
And so we recommend on our website some different ministries, sherecovery.com, and also Covenant Eyes has a Rise ministry.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing good work, and we can learn from them. We're learning from them. And we really need brave women to walk that road, who have walked that road to victory, to be able to help other women identify lies, hear the truth from each other, and seek to find wholeness. So I think no matter how women have been affected by porn, battling together is the key, and we're excited for what's coming.
Yeah, to God be the glory, and it's by His strength. I know it's hard to talk about these things. I know we're talking about them more. You're talking about it more publicly, but it's still not easy to bring those things up. So thank you for doing that. Please reach out. Reach out to someone. Reach out to us, if nothing else. And God is our great healer, and He restores. Thank you.